on understanding government tenders, brought to you by Cumberland Council in association with the Greater Cumberland Chamber of Commerce. Now, as it be, before we start, let me acknowledge, and I'll make it short, that we're meeting on lands that are, was, were, and always will be lands of Aboriginal heritage. And I pay my respect not just to members and elders of the Indigenous communities, but to elders of all communities that have walked this land before us. And I really pray that their sense of family, land, and togetherness will be with us all in the coming days. It's not too long an evening, but it's very informative. We've got 3 speakers, well, 4 actually. So let's just get on with it, shall we? And let's invite Emmanuel over to do our President's address. Emmanuel.
Thank you, Brian. Can I start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Can I also acknowledge, I believe Councillor Ahmed Uff is on the way. Councillor Sujin Selvan, I believe, is an apology. About 4 months ago, Councillor Sujin actually approached me and said, we need to look at ways to connect the local businesses to government, because a lot of business owners do not know how to do business with the government. So the idea was born, initiated by Councillor Sujin Selvan, and of course Chris Menosky and Helder have taken the idea and brought it to fruition today. So thank you. I would also like to acknowledge our 3 speakers. Rana Adil Akbar, founder of DGPM Proprietary Limited, as well as Rachel Bloom, Regional Manager for Greater Western City Industrial Capability Network, and Carol, Sarah, and Bill from the Cumberland Council are going to be talking about doing business with the Council today. Now, on behalf of the Greater Cumberland Chamber, can I welcome all of you to this event. I'm happy to state that we are now possibly the largest multicultural chamber in New South Wales. And support us. Now, as you know, the RBA has finally dropped interest rates, and we sincerely hope that this is just the beginning of a long downward trend, isn't it? It is, of course, fantastic to see that our government has managed to keep unemployment low and yet reduce inflation to 2.4% while avoiding recession. As you all know, even economic giants like the UK, Japan, Germany all went into recession, including our neighbor, New Zealand. But we avoided it. We successfully conducted 4 workshops in February, all on cross-cultural, how to work cross-culturally, and that is part of being multicultural and working cross-culturally. And again, thanks to the Council for supporting that, and thanks to Brian and Rolf. Where are you guys? Thank you for putting that together at a very short time, and of course Rona, who actually was one of our facilitators as well. We are also working with Andrew Charlton, the MP for Parramatta. Now, about 8 months ago, he came to me and said, Emmanuel, and the same thing. How do we get local businesses connecting with Fortune 100 companies? There's a big barrier. We need to do something about it, because I am bringing over 50% of Fortune 100 companies into Parramatta. So he has succeeded, and he has spoken to the CEOs of NAB, CBA, and several other large companies. And as a part of that, we are now introduced what we call as Parramatta Connect. So what we are trying to do is, most of these guys have already closed their vendor panels. So we've asked them to open it. A lot of them have come into Parramatta. We have said there are specific activities and services which you would need, which have to be geography specific, flower arrangements, restaurants, and things like that, right? So we will communicate with you about this. If you guys are interested to deal with some of the big boys, the procurement guys will be there. We are going to have an event shortly, And it will be an event where you guys can talk to them, find out how you can actually engage with those Fortune 100 companies, and we'll actually facilitate it and ensure that you actually enter into the vendor panel. But it will be on specific categories which the Fortune 100 companies would need. So keep your eyes open, look at our Facebook page, and we will actually be talking to you about it. So nominations are also now open for the Multicultural Awards organized by our media partners. Where's Shabel? Is he here? There he is. So talk to him. There are media partners as well. They are from Oz Arab Media, and they had a huge multicultural awards night last year, attended by over 700 people. They are putting that up again, and we are strongly supporting them. They are our media partners, and we will be communicating with you as to how to nominate. And I believe 31st March, is it, Shabel? The close date is 31st of March. We strongly encourage you guys to nominate for these awards. In April, we will be having a networking night at Macy's, which is in Maryland. Please watch out. We'll actually send you communication over Facebook. International business continues to be a big focus and continues to be a big differentiator for our chamber, and is part of this whole multicultural domain that we are using as the largest multicultural chamber. So a large international business event will be held end of May, and we will have at least 3 of the consul generals. Kenan, we hope we can get the Turkish consul general here as well as from India, as well as Bangladesh. Indonesia. They will be present, and we will be talking about some specific. We are inviting international companies to come here, and we will have specific products and services for which people are looking for local partners. So by doing this, what we are trying to do is the two-way bridge, where companies here can expand overseas, as well as companies overseas can look for local partners, and we'll be the bridge facilitating that. So if you guys are interested, contact us again. We have actually increased our membership from $50 to $80. Yes, $50 to $80 compared to some of the other chambers which charge you $650 or $1,000. We still remain the cheapest. So we will have our Facebook QR code. It's up here, and some of our A-frames and so on. Feel free to join and become a member. It's $80 at the moment for single proprietorship. But if you're a company with a turnover of over $1 million, the corporate membership is $250. It's still cheap. This year, we are continuing to work closely with the council, and thanks to their support, we are able to organize this event again for free, and we hope to continue working with the council. Thanks to Chris Minosky and Helda. I can't see Helda here. For facilitating. Oh, he's up there in the back. Thanks for working with us, and we hope to continue and bring low cost or free events to you throughout this year. I would also like to acknowledge our platinum sponsor, Kenan, who also happens to be a vice president. Thank you for being our platinum sponsor. Hope you'll continue. He's from Australian Disability Services, and Alpesh, who's not here, who's our gold sponsor. And a sincere thanks to our media partners as well, Paranews, as well as Shabel, sitting in the back from the Oz Arab Media. I think he will be talking to a few of you guys during the networking thing, and that will go live on the website, so feel free to talk to him. We are now working closely with VentiLeaks, and we have most of our events here. They have given us a number of concessions, and so now they are a hospitality partner, so a lot of our events will continue to be held at this venue. We have opened our sponsorship offers again for this year. If any of you are interested, we have platinum tier, gold tier, and bronze tier. Come and talk to me. Happy to talk to you again. As I said again, we have QR codes all over the place. For the Facebook, please scan the code and like and follow us on Facebook, as well as you have the membership as well. Now you have, where is Victoria? Walking around. She's the photographer for the day, especially during networking. Guys, take as many photographs as possible, because we want to put a lot of photographs up on Facebook, and again, share it with your friends as well. So once again, welcome and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Emmanuel. If any of you aren't chamber members, become a member. Okay. So it is my pleasure now to introduce the Cumberland Business Sentiment Survey. Sounds huge. The Cumberland City Council Business Sentiment Survey is now live, and an important initiative designed to gather feedback from our local businesses. Your input helps shape the programs and services offered by Council. In other words, don't stay still, put some input in to better meet the needs of our business community. Oh, here it comes. Please take a few minutes to complete the survey. Just do it. Plus, participants have a chance to win exciting prizes. Wow. Including a 250 gift voucher as a token of Council's appreciation. Chris, is this a link on Council's website?
It is on our How You Say page.
Okay, there you go. All right, time to get on with the content now. So let's introduce and let's hand the mic over to Sarah Zabo, Senior Procurement and Contracts Officer, Cumberland City Council. There you go.
Hello everyone. Nice turnout. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I hope I can instill some information on you tonight that will be beneficial with partnering with Council in the future. So first of all, I just want to go through, if I can work this, from our department sits within the governance and risk team at Council, and we're bound to follow some Local Government Act when we're procuring goods and services, the Local Government Regulations 2021, and we also have our own internal policies and procedures that we need to abide by and follow. So that's pretty much the guidelines of it. When we're procuring for goods and services, we use a e-tendering platform which is called eProcure. All the details there, I can see everyone taking photos. We're going to share this PowerPoint presentation with you, so you've got the links. And I do encourage everybody to actually jump onto the internet via the link and register on eProcure. It's a free registration, and you'll get to see all the tenders and quotations that we're actually out looking for. So in saying that, once your business is registered, you get notified by email. It comes directly to whoever is registered. And there's different categories that you can register your business under. So if you're in hospitality, or if you're in all trades or electrical, that kind of thing, you can actually choose the category, and then that way you'll get notifications for that particular service or goods. So we'll give that to you. The eProcure platform we've been using now for about 5 years, and it's a bit bulletproof. We've got audit trails, etc. on it. It's all digital, so all the paperwork that you will receive, if you are interested in submitting a tender or a quotation, it's all done electronically, and you just fill out the tender documents, the schedules, everything is there and available for you to see. There's a question and answer forum on the actual site as well. And then if you experience any kind of technical difficulties, the 1800 number on eProcure is pretty much manned during business hours, a little bit later than Sydney, because they have hybrid offices around. And so there's also a chat bot on there. So if you ever experience any kind of problems, you can always give them a call. So as far as the platform goes, it's a totally separate entity and the one that we use, and all those kind of inquiries need to go to them. As far as getting clarification and questions that you may have regarding the specification document or the actual tender documents at all, there's a question and answer forum, and that comes directly to the procurement officer. So if it was one of my projects, it would come directly to me. I then forward that information onto the project owner and the project manager for their response. Once I respond, it goes to all suppliers that are interested, because one of the main things for council is to be extremely transparent and fair when it comes to working with suppliers. So as I said, all advertisements are on the council website as well as eProcure. You can download all the documents. When you're preparing your submission, there's also a closing time and it's closing day. But also about 5 days before that, you're unable to ask any more questions. So just be aware of that. And if you do submit, don't leave it to the last minute. Submit it a couple of days prior to it actually closing, because part of our conditions of RFX or conditions of tender, we don't accept late submissions. We don't accept them any other form other than eProcure, so you've really got to be careful. We normally advertise for 21 days when it's over a certain value. Under that particular value, it's 14 days. But we like to keep it, ever since COVID, we like to keep it at that 21 days. We just find that people are working from home, not always having access to things. During holiday time as well, we always extend that open period just to make sure that we're capturing as many suppliers as we possibly can. So any changes to the scope or any of the documents that may have been loaded in error, not that I would do that, but if they were, we would load an addenda up for you, and that way everybody would also see that. An addenda would mean that you need to acknowledge that as well in your tender submission. So then there's the lodgement part of it. I've explained, don't leave it to the last minute. Read the conditions of tender. It's not a Bible by any means. It's not huge. So please read that and make sure that you're that you're comfortable with our conditions as well. There's a few things that council require, like certain insurance policies and workers' comp, and some companies and some, depending on what it actually is, we require ISO accreditation. So just be careful and just make sure that what you're responding to, you are capable of achieving and capable of servicing council. We always ask that you complete the submission in its entirety, because once that closes and the evaluation panel receive that, they're going to be looking at not only your submission, but they're going to be seeing how you actually answered that, and then they're going to be looking at who else and comparing it, and then they'll score you, and that gets into our weighted criteria. That's all explained in the conditions of tender as well. We have non-price and price criteria. And of course, council are always looking for value for money, the best thing for council, and it needs to be fit for purpose. So they're the major things. We do ask sometimes, or a lot of the time, for a methodology. So how are you going to do it? How are you going to service us? How are you going to provide those goods? Can you meet the timeframes that we're requiring? So there's a lot of detail that goes into it, but that enables the evaluators to really have a good go at evaluating yours. And if the information's missing, you're going to be scored very low. We also do some compliance checks as well. Am I on that page? Doesn't matter. I'll send you this anyway. We're going to send you. We also do the compliance checks. We need to do financial checks, and we use a company called Corporate Scorecard, and we just do express checks on the company, so be aware of that. We also do reference checks as well, and when you're filling out that particular schedule, you need to think it needs to be like for like. It can't be a swimming pool, for instance, that you're going to deliver, yet it's a tennis court. It needs to be like for like for whatever your products and services are. After the actual evaluation is done and everything's closed, I do the procurement team do the compliance, and then we hand it over to the evaluation team. Now, they do it independently and individually. They're not allowed to share any information. I'm the only one that they can actually talk to. So when you are actually when you've submitted, we've evaluated, we then go through a process internally, and depending on the actual value, it'll either get approved by our general manager. Anything under 500K will get approved for the general manager. Anything over that, it goes to council. And so then there is going to be a gap because we hold council meetings once a month, and it goes on the docket to actually be heard at the next council meeting. So patience when it's over 500K is required. We also then send out a letter of award. We've already published the contract as a draft form. You can look at that and make sure that it's suitable to you. You're able to submit non-compliances or departures from the contract in your submission. So we look at all of that before we come to an understanding. So there's no negotiation. Council don't negotiate. So whatever you're sending us is your best and final. So just bear that in mind as well. Where's my clicker? Financial checks, okay, letter of offer. Okay, so we've put some slides up here about what it actually looks like if you were to register on eProcure. And so if you went to our website with the links that I'm going to provide you, that's what you would actually see. And it's pretty straightforward. It then will show you how to do business with council, and it will take you to a screen that looks like this, which is the eProcure. That's where it will ask you to register, put in a password. It asks you then to fill out all your company details. It's like a 5-step kind of thing. It's really quite simple. And it goes through, and then it will ask you about the categories, which I explained to you before, about what services and goods that you are able to provide. And that's it there. And then you can just submit. So as I was talking before, I did mention about fairness and confidentiality, governance when it comes to our procurement. And we have a conditions of participation, which is our statement of ethics. And I won't read too much to you, but these are our values and what we believe in council. Whereby, we want to achieve that best outcome for our ratepayers and our LGA. We expect high standards of behaviour and professionalism all the time. So if you have anyone that's working alongside us, they need to be aware that they're under the radar by our public, and you need to behave in an appropriate manner. Also, if it's a works, we always ask that you wear clear high vis and clear markings of the organisation that you're from as well. I think I've went through this before, the conditions of participation and what is expected from you. Like I started, this is a partnership. We don't talk about our suppliers as an us and them type of thing. It's a partnership, and we want to, be working with you for some years to come. We want to be able to rely on you and trust you. So there are some obligations that you need to be aware of and uphold on council's behalf. As far as gifts and benefits, it goes into our whole corruption and bribery and probity and all those nasty words. But if you have any conflicts of interest, you need to declare them. and there's also that whole confidentiality agreement as well, which is agreed to when you actually submit your submission. So from a gifts and benefits, we are at council are not allowed to accept anything, not even a cup of coffee. So please bear that in mind. No one will accept anything to get any favours here at Cumberland. The handling of our information within council as well, we have really strict document control. It's only saved in one particular, after it comes out of eProcure, it gets locked down into our own database, so it's totally secure, and our IT have managed to make sure of that. The only other things that I really want to talk to you about, which is not on here, but it might be something that you all may be interested in, and we have a relationship with two other organisations, and one of them is called Procurement Australia, and one of them is called Local Government Procurement, so it's LGP. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but I think that you should jump on their websites and have a look. Now, most of the time within council, when we're looking for anything, we go straight to those sites. There's a list of suppliers with pre-done contracts. So I already know if I'm looking at one of those suppliers, I know they've got the right insurances, I can see their pricing schedule, I can see all their work health and safety, any other certificates that they have. I can get the details of the people that are in that business and find out who the key personnel are as well. So I do urge you to jump on there because they have a lot of contracts that you can actually piggyback on. That way you're not only getting a lot of work from Cumberland Council, but every council within New South Wales uses those sites as a go-to. There's also Procurement Australia now. They both have sometimes similar contracts, like their major works and minor works, but there's a lot of contracts that are standalone with each, like professional services or mechanics and things like that. So you have a look and you might fit into one of those categories and then just get overwhelmed with work, have to hire so many more people from our LGA and, make lots of money for the area. So that's probably it for me. If you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them now, unless I've gone over time because I do tend to chat a lot. Is there anything that I can tell you? Yeah, sure.
Could you please include those last two websites?
Yeah, sure. Procurement Australia. And the other one is LGP. So it's Local Government Procurement. And it seriously is the go-to. We also, for our big construction contracts, when we're building new stadiums, etc., we tend to go to suppliers that are on some of the state government contracts as well, because they have, that's where all the big boys sit, basically. But for your medium size or your SME businesses, I would say definitely jump on Procurement Australia or LGP.
Is there any information on website where we can find out the past contracts which are coming to, which is expiring soon or something like that?
No, but what there is that you would probably be aware of, anything over 150k, we have to declare that. And so we have a GIPA register, and that's also on our internet because we have to actually declare that. So that would be one way of finding out. The other way is to actually email our team directly, and that's tendering@cumberland.nsw.gov.au. And we can give you a bit of a heads up of what's coming up. Even if you want to send us some information on your organisation, we're happy to send it around to the relevant teams as well. And just a small blurb profile on what you can offer. Anything else? Nope. Excellent. Oh, one more, sorry. One at the back, there's always one.
I'm actually registered on by New South Wales.
Are you now? For what contract?
For security consulting.
Okay, excellent.
So I get stuff through there.
Yep.
Do you use that?
Yes, we do. Yep. We actually went to tender for security for the whole of our LGA probably about 2 years ago, I think, 3 years ago. And the contracts, when we do large ones like that, we tend to go for 3 + 1 years. So the +1 is our option to extend. But we normally would do a 3-year because we find that we get better pricing for 3 years because the suppliers are happy to know that they're secure for 3 years, so they'll give us a better deal. Yeah? Yeah, but by New South Wales, it's another go-to. Yep. Yep. All good? Okay.
Thanks for that, Sarah, for setting the tone for the evening. Just a little overview of the Cumberland City Council, which covers an area of 72 square kilometres and serves a population of approximately 235,439 approximately residents. The council provides a wide range of services and programs, including libraries, community centres, recreational facilities, and development planning. They focus on social inclusion, well-being, and capacity building for seniors, people with disabilities, children, and youth. Additionally, Cumberland City Council manages public assets, city maintenance, environmental health, and waste services. Now, the reason for telling you all this is because the council spends approximately 100 million annually on procurement. This expenditure covers a wide range of goods, works, and services necessary to support the council's operations and community projects. And to tell you more, the best person would be Chris Minoski, Manager, Place and Economy, Cumberland Council.
Thank you, Brian, and our heartfelt thank you to Carol and Sarah from our procurement team for coming out today and providing everyone an overview of how simple it is to do business with council. A lot of people hear this and automatically think, well, I've got no chance, I'm just a small business. But the system isn't as overwhelming as it might seem like. And the purpose of today's workshop and event is to go through this and make you understand that doing business with government or the private sector isn't as daunting as it is. Our team in economic development are here to help businesses, and we're here to help you gain the skills, the knowledge, to help you do business with us. So as an extension of this, and you'll hear from other speakers later, you'll find on your desk one of these. If you scan the QR code, we are offering 20 businesses a fully subsidised course with a certificate run by local government procurement, which Sarah spoke about. And the course is bidding for government contracts. Now, if you guys scan the QR code, there's a few questions in there. Answer those to the best of your ability. I do want to note, though, it is fairly competitive, as there's only 20 spots available. So the more information you give us, the easier it'll make it for us to make a decision. Now, based on the success of this first iteration of the workshop, we will look into possibly extending this further. But it's so important that we run this so that our businesses in our area are equipped with the skills and their staff are equipped with the skills to be able to do business not only with us, but with the private sector as well, and advance your business. If there's any questions, come speak to me, myself or Hilda or Brandon, and we're happy to answer anything. But I'll pass it over to Brian for now. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Chris, and for all yours and Helder's support to the Chamber through the years. All right, let's look at the next segment. Win any tender. I like that. Win any tender. Wow. All right. Win any tender helps businesses secure government grants and win tenders. That's pretty obvious. By offering expert writing services. They craft compelling proposals tailored to meet specific requirements, provide training and coaching to enhance tender writing skills, and offer ongoing support to improve proposal quality. Hope I got that right, Rana? Okay, DigiPM Proprietary Limited provides digital product management solutions to streamline business processes and to boost productivity. So we have with us next at the mic here, Rana Adil Akbar, partner, Win Any Tender, and founder of DigiPM Proprietary Limited. Rana. Okay, let's get this going.
Yeah, you should. Thank you. Yes. Log in, going to this. Recruit, log in.
Now I look.
Yeah, screen is visible. Yeah. So welcome here, and thank you everyone for being here in this event today. I am thankful to Emmanuel, Brian, and Chris, Helder, and the whole team inside and outside of the hall for arranging this great event. I'm also thankful to Sarah for her comprehensive talk on e-procurement system with Cumberland Council. Really, with this event, I feel that you have created a kind of Medici effect, which is basically networking of all the people around, small, medium enterprises, small businesses, and us talking to each other. And definitely in the networking session, we will talk more on your questions and responses. So my name is Rana, and I'm working with Zach from Win Any Tender. My experience with mainly with digital procurement and the related solutions. So I'm here to present you on the talk. And basically, today I'll take the agenda towards business hustles and how you can work on your business. It will be key steps in successful tendering and capability statement that is very crucial. It's like a resume of your business to the Cumberland Council. I will talk on that. A small part on the technology in procurement, use of cutting edge tools, AI and procurement, and finally going through to the registration of yourself as a supplier with Cumberland Council, which Sarah already put light on, but I will show you some. And registered I will show you the snapshot as well for that. So let's start with this. If you see the image here, you can see a person involved in every activity. Now, he is trying to do everything with his own hands, and it shows a kind of hustle mode and not like a well-automated mode. So better to differentiate your business and your work, that are you working on your business or you are working in your business. If you're working on your business, it means that there are teams to whom you delegated your work. There are automated systems where you can do the invoicing and emails and all other kind of marketing stuff. So there must be a difference. I would like to show tell a quote from Brian McGill that you are what you do every day. So if you are a hustler, then try to differentiate with that and try to be more automated and dedicated person. Next is showing you some key steps related to successful tendering. So Successful tendering in this age required a lot of digitization as well, tools as well, but more importantly, ensuring compliance. In the previous talk, as Sarah mentioned, make sure yourself that you are capable of doing things, you are comply with ISO standards and other kind of activities, and all these steps are related to that. I will go through one by one very quickly, and we will share the slideshow with you as well, so you can see in the details there. So basically, identifying right tender opportunity. So you have to keep monitoring new opportunities. It's available on the news, media, and everywhere, so you have to follow that. Assess eligibility criteria. The one segmentation and one show of the Sarai was eligibility criteria. So every organization, especially government, they announce some eligibility criteria with the tenders. So read it line by line. Bid or no bid analysis. This is crucial. If you're capable, do a bid and no bid analysis. So if you're capable, if your teams are there, you have systems and processes that can help the council, then do bid. There are situations where you can decide to not to bid on any tender, so that's okay. Maybe better luck next time. So, but do identify those domains. Document types are very critical. So RFPs and ITTs, RFQs, RFX, what are these? Try to understand, like RFP is an initial request for proposal. It's mainly covering on the basic ideas of the proposal, technicalities and other things. ITT is formal invitation to tender. So you have to respond as per the document needs and elements. So evaluation criteria, deadlines, 14 days, 21 days, as she mentioned. So everywhere in the government, you find the days. Try to comply with those dates as well. And engage stakeholders as well. So maybe pick up the phone, the email that she mentioned, or any other place. You have to engage stakeholders for your questions as well. And this networking event today, you can ask questions in this as well. So try to bring a competitive advantage for your services and make a checklist of the requirements that you can meet to the council's needs. The other point is understand your business needs and requirements as well. So there are a few areas. Check your employees and resources, whether they are fully capable or not. They can cover the needs that council asks for or government asks for in their tenders or proposals. Are you bringing any innovation that really help the council? And it will not only help the council but also grow your business as well. Through this, bringing this innovation to the council, do your business grow as well? So try to be more creative in this. Do check the long-term existence and long-term success of your organization while working with the council. Financial stability, compliance and with the regulations and other things. Organization market strategy. So I suggest you to read about Porter's strategy. He writes something and he talks about differentiation. Michael Porter is a good author on this, and he writes a very good paper where you can place yourself as a strategic fit for council or government companies. Strategic deliverables and outcomes. So there are timelines, there are milestones that you have to meet during the whole execution cycle. So do check them before submitting your proposal. Success measurement and goals, basically, are there visible KPIs that you need to cover, and they are visible in your document or not. So try to match your working with the actual KPIs and not cutting the corners. And you have a business that actually transform the work into the actual results. So basically all this is to align yourself and your business with the council's requirement, what they ask in the proposals or any tender requirements. Next is target and plan your success. So don't just, if you open the website and you see the tender, yes, that's there, but do you want to fulfill that, or you have some plan as well? So as she mentioned, that any contract that is above 150,000 is there in the register of Cumberland Council, so you can find it. But these kind of small contracts are there. You can try for that, but do have a vision of long term, like 2 to 3 years, where you will be landing, and try to gradually upbring, because next contract will ask you past performance as well, and there might be a selection criteria for that. So be aware of that, so you can slowly, gradually get into the government working. So first step is maybe Next month, you can apply for a pre-qualified panel. Second is council tender with small value, then private tender, department tenders, and then finally to a full-scale proposal or quotation submission. Timing is very crucial. So timing requires you to work within the time. You know, the triple constraints. So one of the major parameter is timing. So whenever you prepare your response to the RFP, do understand the timings required for this whole demand and try to meet that. And do get a feeling that whether you can meet these requirements or not, as a business owner, as a functionary of your business, you must know that these timings you can meet or not. So deadlines meeting, resource efficiency as well, it is required. And it's not only about time management, it's also about energy management as well. So there is a new concept that, yes, we have 24 hours and we can divide the time, not only for yours, but also your resources as well. So try to manage energy of yours and your team as well. Do interdependency analysis. So if one work is done by the one team, are they ready for the second? Or you have to have a buffer zone. So basic requirements like this. And then scenario planning, where you have to prioritize the things based on the requirements. And sustainable growth, which shows that long-term vision of what you are achieving. Crafting a winning proposal. It's really, so once you can see public RFPs are there and ITTs are there, so there are so many proposals. The U.S. Department of Defense, I was reading that they do not procure for, if they know that two similar vendors, they submit the similar proposal, they do not go for a tendering process. They do not go for that. Why? Because so much similar kind of proposals given. So try to craft a very good proposal with all the elements mentioned in that. Usually these are executive summary, technical approach, experience and credentials, pricing and cost breakdowns. So basically, clear business plans should be there, strategic deliverables and outcomes, what you will be achieving for the council or the government, and innovation. Innovation is a key area because AI-enabled or cutting-edge technologies are bringing something. So if anything related to technology, yes, it has to be part of that. But not only that, whether you are supporting the council or government with AI innovation, you can also use AI tools in your drafting process. While creating your proposal, why don't search using AI tools? So this I will put a light on this later in this presentation. Pricing and value. So it's all about cost savings and what value you are bringing to the council as well. So be transparent, justifiable, and analyze industry benchmarks. ISO, as she spoke about that. So try to understand what kind of standards are required in this RFP. And define financial expectation, quality, and other competitive advantage. This is just one example, one sentence that I mentioned here, just for your look. Definitely, it's a vendor selection mechanism. So it has few contents that I highlight, which is AI-driven procurement. So it based on some analysis of the data, and then machine learning help it. Vendor selection. So vendor selection, usually what happen, if there is a category which is called transportation, or then you look for transport suppliers and everything, but do AI platform can help it or not? And can it reduce the procurement cycle? Why? Because if you quick in finding vendors, it will reduce the procurement cycle, right? So if any platform that can help in this way, so it's a competitive advantage by reducing the cost, by reducing the time by 30%. So it's a good win for the council and yourself as well, for your system. And ensuring compliance, any mandatory requirements. So this statement I'm just putting, which shows the pricing and value kind of benefits. And final review and submission. This is critical. Before submitting your response, do proofread. Check again the elements, whatever required in the RFP or ITT. Are you covering all the elements or not? And try to submit through the official portal, as mentioned, eProcure on the Cumberland Council. Why? Because you will be able to track it. And if you send email or anything, it may not accept it. It will not be accepted because if there is a formal way. But secondly, you can track where is your proposal right now. So try to be on the portal itself. And after submitting, try to follow up. You can try to follow up as well. Check the timelines. If unsuccessful, you can ask for the feedback why your proposal got unsuccessful or why your negotiation got unsuccessful. There are lessons in it. And secondly, if you are successful, still there is a time to check. There is time to talk. Why? Because there are contractual obligations that you need to read before signing it. So be aware of that. So learning with each bid is important, whether successful or not successful. I want to quote my favorite leadership author, that sometimes you win, other times you learn. So if it's good that if you win, but if you're not, at least you learn something from the previous activity. But do start something from there. This is a QR code. I just want you to scan it right now. It's a small question, and you can give your remarks. It basically covers all the previous elements that which you find more challenging. If you just take a photo, and then I will show the results for the audience. It will be good to, you can discuss it during the networking session as well, and you can talk on, focus on those responses. It's not working. Wi-Fi is not working here. Sorry. I just connect with the mobile.
It's not connecting. Yeah, I don't know. It's literally. Yeah, it's this one. If you want to just type that one.
I will connect with my mobile. Okay, this is the.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. I will show you the result. Just a second. So let me show you one last try. If anybody skips the QR code. I think I have to skip it. So this is the numbers that I'm seeing from all of you. The highest number is preparing a winning tender proposal. This is more challenging. It seems to the audience that they are more having problem with that, or yeah, it has to be seen more. Second is competitive pricing and value proposition. So these are the things. And least is post-submission follow-ups. It's more easier. I think Cumberland Council is easy to engage with, so that's awesome. Good. I'm going back to the presentation. So the previous talk was on the guidelines, and this is also related to specifically to the proposal area, which is whatever you are targeting to respond with the proposal, target it and ask questions before that. Don't appear to be cutting corners. Engage the person with the story of your success. Do not sell your product. If you have a product or service, just don't try to sell it in your proposal or in any talk or any negotiations. Try to sell your success story or your journey as well, so that it can be more engaging rather than just getting the selling the product. Position yourself as a reader of the person who is doing it. So the buyers in the council or buyers in the government, try to be in their shoes with their perspective, rather than just giving a lot of information on your area, which they cannot really understand and compare. So, criteria that you may need to meet in order to deliver a contract successfully. The work must be completed in time, and basically this explains the triple constraint again: time, cost, and time, cost, quality, and scope. So you have to complete all these things within the constraints. Do not compromise on the quality or other regulations that are required. And understanding government needs, I think the previous session from Sarah was really great in understanding the things, and the questions will be answered here. Here, it's only to guarantee your proposal should be, try to understand what government needs, what government want in the ITT and in the proposal. Try to meet that requirements with addressing all the elements in this. So you can try to understand what are the type of documents that you are receiving. So you should know how to address each document. So RFP it's mainly the thorough response. RFQ focuses only on the cost item. So maybe item level details, item level pricing you have to provide. If it's a service, then detailing, or if it's a product, then you have to provide the pricing at the item level as well. Or it depends on the scenario. Invitation to tender is the formal invitation to initiative. It's a very formal document, so you have to fulfill accordingly. So steps to analyze before, basically evaluation criteria. There is always 100% of different criteria. There's always 100% of different criteria. So it may be your past experience. It may be your certifications from the benchmarking and other areas. So try to read that scoring criteria as well. Another thing is capability statement in tender writing. This is crucial, actually. This is a kind of resume as we are applying for jobs or something. It's a resume. So try to craft a very good capability statement, and you can establish credibility and professionalism by writing this. Your company is capable of completing government tasks or not. Provide a concise and organization summary of the experience, your important people who are working on your project, and past accomplishments of your business as well. Then it's also verification of your prior experience. So you maybe have some certifications, some past testimonials that you want to show it to the new tender, and just describe that your business can fulfill the needs and demands of the tender. And try to identify the unique selling points, why you are different. Tens of other businesses are applying, right? So what are your USPs? Try to understand that. And again, not only sell the product. It's fine, it's in beneath, but try to sell your journey and success. You can contact us if you want a better writing tool, because our expertise, as Brian introduced us, and we are here to support. It's again a kind of QR code. How many people, you can raise hand, by the way, no need to go back to the slide. So how many users are using generative AI technologies, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, usually for you? So it's a lot. I think you must need more kind of that thing, because it's available. Technology is available right now. Why? I will show you something in an upcoming slide, because technology is in there. So try to use that technology to better craft your proposals. And procurement activities, it's a kind of similar tool. So for procurement, we are here because of a reason. Again, Medici effect, I told you before, that we are networking and talking. So it started from ancient times, actually. And this image is generated by the generative AI as well. So it's starting from ancient times with industrial revolution, construction, and railway services. It really brings procurement to the high level. And then modern procurement came in. Modern procurement start mainly from 80s, and as of now it is processing. So it's a foundation era. It was globalization era. There was 2000s was the crisis era, in which 9/11, the economic crisis actually came up, and so it's a kind of empowering era and innovation age as well. Last decade, we have seen a lot of word for procurement transformations and digital transformation journey. So that is also part of that, and many conferences happen on that, and it's a lot. But now we are moving towards AI-driven era. So a lot of jobs, a lot of repetitive jobs will be automated. They will be used by, they will be replaced by the AI. So if, for example, RFP, if it has 20 elements, 12 or 13 elements on my average, it depends on yours as well, they are static. They are just highlights, introduction, and compliance and other criteria. The 5 to 8, 10 elements, they are dynamic. But you can use AI tools in that as well, how to write them. So AI is there. It is going to be stayed there for a long time. So try to do a tech adoption in your business as well, from marketing to email reply to other kind of tools as well. There are just few. I'm already 24 minutes. So these are few use cases that you can use. So spend cube is basically one of the thing, procurement teams and other where your spend is done. So a lot of organizations, when they are selling, where they are spending it, in transport, in office, and infrastructure, where they are spending it. So it's analytical tools can help them. RFP draft, as I told you, RFP can be drafted using GenAI, and proposal evaluations. So if there are hundreds of proposals came in, and you want a person who wants to have 7, 8, 10 days to going through all these proposals, it's not easy. So AI tool can help them to understand how to evaluate the proposal, because AI can better do most of the part, or at least give the recommendations. I'm not saying selection or decisions, but recommendations to the buyers can be used by the AI or other digital enabling platforms. Price books, big item catalogs. We are seeing with government and many other services that huge price books are there and prices are changed. So in this area where the technology can help really. And category strategy can be defined through segmentation of the spend, where they are spent, and then a strategy can be developed to address the categories. So it's a whole discussion. I will be available during the later session for any responses on this. These are also potential. The slide will be shared with you. There are NLP, AI, or other advanced. There are a few friends here who are from software companies as well, so they are aware of what are these things. And yes, again, there are AI enablers in the modern procurement, and you can get benefited. So very much, I'll just repeat quickly what Sarah earlier mentioned. Visit an e-procurement website, in this case eprocure.cumberland console, and register with the government entity as shown in the previous snapshots. Prepare your documents, your compliance, your registration certificate, or financial statements, whatever you have, and read it on the portal, vendor portal as well, and apply for industry certificates if required, and wherever required, and keep monitoring the open tenders. This is the same slide that is shared. So I just want to mention this slide. This is the register of Cumberland government contracts. So here you can find all the contracts that Sarah was saying above 150,000, right? So any contract above than this will be available here. You can read it. This is good for you to analyze. I think one question also came from somewhere. So it's there with a high level of details, and definitely for more detail you can talk to the team. So key takeaways are basically try to be on the platform, try to use technology, try to be aware of the different elements of the response that you're writing, and try to get your paperwork ready, and write an effective capability statement. It will showcase your portfolio, and seek advice on writing responses. We are all here. Cumberland Council give us this opportunity as well. Our next speaker will be also sharing her thoughts as well, and ask questions during this event as well. This is our contact details. You can have it, and for contact us, or if you want to see the services as well. And Zach Obed, he's not here today, but I'm representing him here. Thank you very much for your presence.
Thank you so much for that, Rana. There is a raffle at the end of the evening, so if you haven't popped your business card into that black box that Joe is carrying around, please do so. Joe. Here's some good prizes here, some bottles of wine, etc., etc. All right. To introduce our next speaker, because we're running a little behind time, so we'll really step on the gas now. So the Industry Capability Network, ICN, is sponsored by Investment New South Wales. It connects businesses with project opportunities to promote local industry growth and economic development. ICN operates through a network of industry specialists who provide procurement and supply chain tools, expert advice, and support to local businesses. To tell you more, we have with us the Regional Manager, Greater Western Sydney Industry Capability Network, Raquel Bloom.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to change slides, so just bear with me for a moment. But wanted to firstly thank Cumberland City Council for putting on this really important event, because I think often, we're so busy in our work and day lives that we don't get to access and connect to opportunities. So thank you also to Sarah, my co-presenters, and Rana. So I encourage you to please network and approach us throughout tonight. But if you do want to follow up information, please feel free to reach out to the economic development team, the fantastic economic development team, and they'll be able to provide you our contact details. So I'm just going to change slides, making sure that it works. Okay. All right, I might start off by putting, if I can ask everyone to put their hands up, who's actually heard of ICN or Industry Capability Network? Fantastic. So by the end of tonight, I'd like a majority of the hands up. So if you haven't, please come and see us, or contact us. My contact details will be on the screen, but like I said, please talk to the team at the Economic Development team, so Helder and Christopher and Brandon. So Industry Capability Network, let's have a look. We've been established for over 40 years now. Not many industry group has been established for that long. And the reason we've been established for that long is because our consultants and the projects that we work with is very important. So we try and connect local businesses. The longevity is because we've got a lot of consultants, and what I might do is I'll put this very quick presentation just to give you a bit of insight into what ICN is and the extensive network. So we're Australia-wide. I'm just going to see why it's not playing. It's not playing the audio. Give me a second. That's fine, we'll play. But essentially, ICN New South Wales, I'll share the video because it's important for you to know what the projects that we work with and the extent of the project. So most of the ICN listings are over 150 million. So the major projects. But in saying that, we do help, small, medium and large businesses, and we connect you to these opportunities. And also we do a lot of business to business. So we are basically a network of experienced industry consultants. So there's about 300 of us across Australia. The network is extensive, and there's 17 locations throughout Australia as in offices. So we're basically, our office is our car, so because we come out and see you personally. And I guess the point of difference is, if you're asking what's the difference between all the procurement platforms, you have a consultant that actually walks you through the tenders and the different projects, and we help you with your capability statement to make sure that you actually, raise the profile and have as much of a chance, in addition to obviously all the other support networks that Council provides, Services New South Wales and other agencies throughout. So the reason we're here, so we've been here for 40 years. Basically, we've been working on expanding our local participation. So the government has recently announced an industry policy, and within that it actually encourages the local participation, and this is where councils and the different government agencies work with ICN to actually promote the different programs and projects that's available. So we are creating business and job opportunities. So we're helping a lot of the SMEs, and I cover 13 council areas. So it's quite extensive, but it's one of the most vibrant and diverse region in New South Wales, and also the most productive because there's a lot of businesses. So just in terms of manufacturing, there's over 18,000. Cumberland is really, such a diverse community and such a diverse business, area that it's really exciting what's happening out here. And I really applaud the entrepreneurial spirit that's out here. So part of the role that we do is we build a skilled workforce as well. So whilst you are working in this space and trying to obtain opportunities, sometimes, you might be short of staff. So we try and connect you as well to other agencies, and part of our role, again, working with councils, working with Workforce Australia, working with, Sydney Greater Local Jobs Network to connect you to opportunities and also connect the people that are looking for work to the local businesses. So, the main thing is creating local jobs. The premise of what we do is essentially trying to increase awareness of local supply capabilities and, reaching the opportunities and bringing it to you. So I think Sarah and also Rana mentioned quite a lot of procurement. So I didn't list everything here. There's a lot. Obviously, the main one that has been discussed today is a local government procurement portal, and that's through, vendor panel, or there's other platforms as well. There's AusTender, there's Procurement Australia. You probably heard of Supply Nation, Yapa Hub. There's so many, but part of what we do is we don't just scan what's happening in Gateway. We have a dedicated manager to actually look at, what are the other opportunities at local, state and federal level, and also particularly around defence. And we bring those opportunities in front of you, the local businesses. Now, I know it was mentioned by Sarah, I think, before, and also Rana, that sometimes the big contractors, like, the John Hollands, when they get these procurement opportunities and the project gets handed to them, the challenge is trying to make sure that, the local businesses have opportunity to connect to them. So part of what we do is we make sure that we scan the room for you. We look at what businesses are in a specific area. So say if there's a project, I'll outline, there's a few exciting projects that's already happening in Western Sydney. But as I mentioned, we're a Australia-wide network. So there's a lot of projects currently in the pipeline, both at state, federal and local, although we mainly play in the state and federal space. You'll see how much kind of the value of the contracts that we've delivered just in last year, and this year it's going to even surpass that, because there is so much infrastructure, and government is typically one of the biggest investors in procurement. So it makes sense to connect to them. This is just a bit of a visual on what we do. So ICN essentially, we're funded by Investment New South Wales. We work with all the local government agencies as well as state government, but state government essentially hands out those major procurement projects, and I'll outline a few of them shortly. But basically the projects that we get, so the project owners are your state government agencies or federal or private, so large private developers. They assign that to a buyer, and the buyer basically works with us directly because it's all embedded in the contracts, the government contracts, that they must do market sounding. So the market sounding is ICN teams, so we interrogate that and we make sure that there's a fair, equitable and transparent process for everyone. And like I said, we're Australia-wide, so whilst I am from Western Sydney and I support Western Sydney businesses. If there is a project, if you are actually looking to expand your services, or if you're manufacturing something and you're looking at opportunities interstate, and New Zealand's obviously one of them, or in some cases where we're working with defence, there might be some export capability opportunities. We try and help you to connect to those future growth plans. And the service is free, so that's the best part about it. You get a consultant that cares, and you get a consultant that actually supports you through the process. And not every work, and I think Sarah mentioned as well previously that not every work you will get, but that's okay because there's a lot of opportunity out there. And I'll touch on a couple of things that's coming in Western Sydney that you probably all heard of, but it's not far away, and I think people need to be aware of those opportunities that's coming in the area. This is just a quick outline, and I'm standing between the networking opportunities, so I'll quickly skim. I'll just pick up some of the things that we do, but we essentially identify and map out the businesses that's working in a particular project. So if it's an infrastructure project, say in Cumberland, we map out the businesses that are needed, and they're called work packages, to support the delivery of that project. From a supplier side, as I mentioned before, so the businesses like you, all size, we work with you and we essentially do a business visit, we get to know your business intimately, and we assist you with the expression of interest process. So I know Rana touched on tenders and that sort of thing. So we're kind of at the beginning end, the beginning part of the process before you get the work. So we try and match you up, and we advocate for you as a local business to make sure that you can have access to those opportunities. We do that. We do have a ICN gateway. So this is basically a platform, and like many of the portals that's procurement related, it is free, and you essentially list your business and you put as much detail. So think of it as a resume. Think of it as, you're trying to articulate what your business is about, and you're trying to promote it and make sure that in front of the buyers that you are selling your business to the best ability. And we will help you kind of list your business so that you do get in front of and people look at your profile. I'm going to skip this because, again, we're going to share the PowerPoint. But essentially, from a process perspective, we receive the work from the project owners. So, again, state government, federal, or large private companies. And then we scope out the work packages in partnership with the buyers. So the buyers are your large companies like the Tier 1s, Tier 2s, and we work with them to make sure that there is as much local content as possible. And the state government's actually enforcing that, there is a mandatory market sounding activity. So we're kind of holding, the procurement project and the owners to account. So I think it just makes it really easy to deal with them, because often, you just see it in the news release or, online that these opportunities exist, but you don't know who to call, because often they won't put their numbers down, but we do. So we try and help you connect to that, but we need to get your information as much as possible. This is just a quick example. So in 2023, 2024, we managed to support local businesses, and they get awarded up to $5.4 billion of contracts. So that's quite a lot. And we've worked with over 9,106 companies. and it's growing. So this year is projecting to exceed over 7 billion, and that's because there's a lot of catalytic projects that's happening, particularly in Western Sydney, and it's really exciting. And I think, you're all the beneficiary of that, because whilst the government contracts are coming and there's a lot of these infrastructure programs coming into place, there's a lot of investment by private companies moving into the area that's going to need services. It's going to need, people like you to support, the population, to support the day-to-day operation of that new business that's investing in the area and moving in. So I think it's exciting. And also, last year we worked with over 159 projects. Now, bear in mind, I mentioned that these projects are from 150 million upwards. Some are over, $1 billion as well. And we delivered over 3,555 work packages. I will give this to the Economic Development team, but you're welcome to scan it now. This is just the New South Wales pipeline opportunity. There's quite a lot of works. And since I actually did this slide a few days ago, there's been 3 more projects that's been listed, and they're quite big, so it's really exciting. And we're looking forward to seeing you in the Gateway platform. I mentioned before there's a lot of things happening in Western Sydney. This is just some of the lists that's currently in the system. So we are presently in market to work with the Integrated Mental Health Facility at Westmead. There's rail infrastructure upgrades that's happening. That's huge. So and the new policies that's being put in place is actually requiring local manufacturers, so a minimum of 50% local content. And what does that mean? Local content means businesses that are actually based in Australia, manufacture in Australia, perhaps also Australian, source materials are Australian. So we're trying to kind of make sure that these opportunities are connected to you. We're also doing quite a lot of projects coming up. Penrith Stadium, we're only a couple of weeks away to getting the work packages. So that's, again, over $309 million worth of projects, work packages, and it varies anything from, security to all sorts of things that you would need to deliver a stadium. So look out for that one. I encourage you to look out for that one. Sign up for the Gateway. But otherwise, I will also share this with the Economic Development team, because it's important for you to know what the opportunities are out there. I won't read through all of them, but 2 key things that's coming up soon as well. There's the Sydney Metro. There's a market sounding at the moment for the facilities management. Again, anything related to running the Sydney Metro stations that's going to be connected from Western Sydney International Airport right down to St Mary's and beyond. There's also the, large hospital upgrades. So there's 3 that's coming in the pipeline: Canterbury, Fairfield, and Bankstown. And again, that's very close to you guys. So I think it's really exciting that, if we can tap into this opportunity for you, it's important. There's a few more there, but one of the things I wanted to mention is, whilst we haven't got the project for these yet, Sydney International Airport is happening. It's going to be opening next year. So with that comes tourists, with that comes other businesses moving into the area, and with that comes airlines. So there's a lot of opportunities in front of you. So I also encourage you, again, we'll share the information, in terms of resources, to look out for that one. And for those who don't know, there's also the Bradfield City. So that's right near the airport. It's kind of in the Liverpool Council area, Penrith Council area. And that is the first city being built from the ground up in 100 years. And that's going to be massive. So it's going to have population in there. So it's going to need a lot of housing. You're going to need a lot of healthcare. You're going to need buildings. So again, keep that in mind. That opportunity is at your fingertips. You're very close to it. And also, with the airport opening, it's going to connect you to other markets, both interstate and internationally. It's the only airport in New South Wales that's operating for 24 hours. So you can imagine that, you can get exports within 13 hours to Southeast Asia if that's the market that you want to look into. But again, look out for these opportunities, and if you need to know more, please, again, reach out to the council team, but we can also supply some information. And then lastly, there was the Parramatta Light Rail, so stage 2. I've just heard from them today, so they're currently scoping it up. And again, they're focusing on businesses within kind of a 30-minute radius from that project. So I think it's exciting if we can involve any of you in that project, and the local content is really something that the government is wanting to focus on with their new procurement policy and industry growth. I'm going to skip through a few of these, but essentially, our area focuses on a lot of industries and also projects, so roads, resource, rail, defence, clean energy. And we're part of a big ecosystem. So whilst I am representing ICN, or Industry Capability Network New South Wales, we work with all the different agencies, Council, Services New South Wales, Business Connect, to actually make sure that these opportunities are brought forward to you and that you have a support system. So it's very important to be connected to, Council and the rest of kind of the team that you've heard from today. I'm going to skip the defence one, but essentially in Gateway, when you scan that QR code, you'll see different projects, huge projects, and it'll list all the different work packages. So scan it, have a look at the ones that's appropriate to your business, and if it's not there, that's fine, because there are other things that, that we can connect you to. So, for example, if you're a catering company, it may not necessarily be involving infrastructure, but hey, I actually provided contacts for a food truck operator at the new integrated mental health facilities. So there's a lot of services and businesses that can benefit from, working with the subcontractors as well. I mentioned about the New South Wales opportunities. So there's the industry policy, actually just got released last week, so the details still fairly new, but they are essentially focusing on driving growth and innovation in this state, with a long-term focus on making sure that, we're building the resilience of small to medium and large businesses in Western Sydney particularly, but also New South Wales. So the policy actually focuses on 3 key areas. So it's attracting investments into the area. I already mentioned, because of the airport and a whole lot of other infrastructure, it's going to attract businesses to Western Sydney particularly. We want to foster collaboration, so we're working, again, it's about working with your, representatives in different agencies, so it's here and it's available. And obviously, we're trying to work with making sure that, we build that sustainable support for you. And ultimately we want to create jobs for our children, right? So, and we want to create those opportunities for the future generation. I'm just going to cover last 2 slides and then, open for questions. Otherwise, please come out and talk to myself and the rest of the Cumberland team. So the industry policy actually has 3 key focus areas, which, again, there's a lot of trickle benefits for you as a small business. So have a think about, what are the areas that you might want to tap into. But, again, it's being able to connect to those opportunities at the beginning, not as an afterthought. You don't want to read about these opportunities. But the government's actually focusing on 3 areas, which is housing. So there's a big aspiration to, obviously create more affordable housing, create more housing in new growth areas. There's also, the next focus is the net zero and energy transition. And again, businesses, small to medium, are probably one of the focus areas as well, because there's government grants out there, and I'm happy to share that with the team, that will help you transition through net zero, which is the aspiration of state government. And then finally, and most importantly, local manufacturing. So there's a focus on sovereign manufacturing, and one of the roles that we play is actually trying to connect business to business. So if we know that a business is manufacturing a particular good, and we know that they're sourcing it from overseas, some of the things that we can actually help you with is, connect you to a local supplier that sources the materials locally. It makes sense. And it's, again, building that local content, making sure that the local economy is strong, and we are here to basically support that. This is just a New South Wales team, but I'm here, and like I said, there's a lot of opportunities out there. There's a lot of competition as well, but there's certainly a lot of opportunities for Western Sydney businesses, and Cumberland is right at the heart of that. Those opportunities are so real now, so particularly with the airport coming. But lastly, I just wanted to thank everyone for taking the time today. I think it's been fantastic that you're able to come tonight. I know you're all very busy, but please take the time to scan the different opportunities. You've been given 3 examples today, but the team will be able to the Cumberland team will be able to support you with providing additional information if you need to. And we're very excited that the area is growing fast and there's a lot of opportunities ahead. So thank you.
Thanks for that, Michael. Can I have another round of applause for all our 3 speakers, Sarah, Rana, and Raquel? And can I please invite our 3 speakers to come forward for a little moment, please? Come, Rana, Sarah, and Raquel. And I request the directors who are here from the chamber, Joe, Seda, Kenan, come up, and we have a little memento for you all. It's a green chamber, so we rather not use plastic and present you with something that you can take home and nurture.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Should we get to make a note?
Can you just stay behind for a photograph? Yeah. Fantastic. I did forget, we're not supposed to present council with anything, but we aren't tendering, guys, so hey. All right, thank you so much again. Okay, to anyone last minute who wants to put your card in this box, please do so, because we're going to draw for the raffle now. We've got a number of prizes here. I'm going to